everyone, this is a review of our last lesson. This week we looked at string gym numbers 5 through 8, and I know I missed a lot of you this week because of state testing, and I'm sorry for the way that the scheduling worked out with that, but I want you to watch this video, do your best. I bet most of you can catch on to these just through the video, and if you can't do them perfectly, don't worry, because we're going to come back to these later in the month since we're playing some of them in our concert. So I just want you to do your best, and at the very least, see if you can understand what the music is asking you to do. So go ahead and take out your string gym packet. If you don't have one, come down and see me sometime this week because I have a copy for everybody. So some of you got hit twice. You missed the last lesson and this lesson. You had a state test both days. So you were super unlucky. And again, I'm really sorry if you were in one of those groups that you missed me twice. But we're going to get going here with Etude 5. You're going to notice that all of these exercises just use open strings. We're not putting any fingers down. You can practice this week putting your fingers down playing the D major scale, which we've worked on a lot in lessons as well. But the reason that we're just doing open strings is that string gym targets different skills and things that we need to get stronger at. And the thing we're working on this week in these 4 exercises is your right hand, doing different bowing techniques. And so they've taken out the extra challenge of putting fingers down and they're just focusing on the bow. So if we take a look at number 5, we start on a D and it says to do a down bow. So I would put my bow at the frog. Let me just tilt my camera down a little bit so you can see my bow a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so down at the frog. So I do my down bow. Now I just played my D half note and I have 2 beats of rest. But the next note that it's asking me to play is an A, which means, the thing that's, we can play an A, but the thing it's asking you to do is to play a down bow A. And I don't have enough bow left to do a down bow. So I need to pick my bow up and move it back down to the frog. So then I'm ready for another down bow. We call that a retake. And there's a retake symbol written in your music. Now we don't just want to do a retake, we want to do a smart retake. So what I mean by that is when I pick up my bow and I move it to the frog, I want to set it down on the next string that I have to play. So on the A string, instead of setting it down to D and then turning to A. So you pick up your bow, move it, and set it on the A string. And if you look through exercise 5, Etude 5, we have 3 retakes that we have to do. So let's try it together from the beginning. Starting on D, setting my bow at the frog. 1, 2, here we go. Retake to A. Retake to D. Retake to G. And make sure you end on a D there. A lot of people were getting into the habit of having 2 measures at a time with the same note. But the last 2 measures, one of them is G and the next one is D. So that's Etude 5. Moving on to Etude 6. This one's pretty simple, but it's showing you something really important, a difference between 2 different types of rhythms. So the first measure, you have 2 Ds that are separated, they're quarter notes separated by a quarter rest. And in the second measure, you have 2 Ds that are half notes. Hopefully you can see the difference there. The difference is that for the quarter notes with the quarter rest, I have to stop my bow. And for the half notes, my bow never stops. And you're just basically practicing that all the way through Etude 6. So let's try that together. Make sure that bow stops for the rest. 1, 2, and here we go. Stop. Stop. Now long. Okay. Stop. 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 Excellent. Very good. Etude 7 adds in eighth notes. So as you look through this exercise, you see lots of eighth notes. if we go through and read our notes, and I'll just read a little bit, it would sound like this. D, 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 D. So we have the quarter notes, which just feel like one beat. The eighth notes feel fast. They're half the value of the quarter notes. And then those half notes are extra long. They're 2 quarter notes worth. When we play this, we want to play it towards the middle of the bow. So instead of starting all the way down at the frog, because I have some short notes to begin with, I'm going to start about a quarter of the way or a third of the way up my bow. So I'm going to start it here, but I'm still going to do a down bow. I'm still moving my bow in this direction, and that will allow me to hang out in the middle of the bow. It sounds really scratchy if you play it down here, so we want to start about a quarter to a third of the way up the bow. I like to call this one the strawberry shortcake string jim because in my mind I say this rhythm like this. Strawberry, strawberry shortcake. So that might help you think about it as you're playing this rhythm, or if you're just an excellent counter, you won't need to think about anything as you play this. So set your bow down. Remember, we're doing a down bow, but about a quarter of the way up the bow. Ready, and here we go. Strawberry, strawberry shortcake. Excellent. All right, moving on to the last one and definitely the most challenging exercise, number 8. This has a bunch of 8 notes, and I'm not going to make you go through and say all the notes because you would run out of breath and you'd go crazy saying all of these notes. But I like to think about this in terms of watermelons. Here's what I mean. If you look at these 8 notes, they are grouped in groups of 4. And just to make sure we're on the same page, these are not 16th notes, teary-tearies. These are 8th notes just in groups of 4. So each group of 4 I like to think of as watermelon. So if you look at the beginning, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 D watermelons because there's 4 sets of 4. When I practice this, I try to kind of gradually get into it. So just like the last one, I'm going to set my bow even closer to the middle because these are shorter notes. And I'm going to see if I can just play 1 D watermelon. And you can do this with me at home. So it'll sound like this. Keeping all of my notes even. Watermelon. Try it with me. Ready, go. Watermelon. Just 1 watermelon, 4 notes. Next, I try to do 2 watermelons. That will be a total of 8 notes, but you say watermelon in your head twice. Let's try that. Ready, and here we go. Watermelon. Try again. Ready, go. Watermelon, watermelon. Very good. Then I try to do all 4. All 4 watermelons. I really have to be thinking because I don't want to play any extra notes, and I also don't want to play not enough notes. Okay? Start in the middle of the bow. See if we can do 4 D watermelons. Ready, and here we go. Very good. If you have that down, you are ready to do this because after the 4 D watermelons, you then play 4 A watermelons, followed by in the second line, 4 more D watermelons. The ending's a little bit different. We'll do this together. 2 G watermelons, 1 D watermelon, and a wah, 1 big long D. It sounds like this. Try it. Set the bow on G. Ready? Here we go. Excellent. Let's do the whole thing. See if you can play along with me, and if you end before or after me, it means you weren't together. It means that maybe you missed a note here or there, and then you can go back and try it again. So setting that bow down towards the middle, I'm still doing a down bow, which means I'm going in that direction to start. Watermelon, ready, and here we go. Over to A. D. G. 1, lesson. See if you can practice these on your own and get them correct, and then you can go to the YouTube video that I have linked in the Google Classroom, which has me playing all of the parts. So in the top left-hand corner is the teacher part that's a little bit more advanced. Sometimes I play during your rest, so just be aware of that. And then on the top to the right is the violin part. Bottom goes viola, cello, and bass. All of the student parts for these are the same, so you'd all be playing together at the same time. All right, so Etudes 5 through 8, do your very best on these. Come see me if you need a string gym packet. Next lesson, we're going to start talking about our concert, which is super exciting. All right, everyone have a great week, and I'll see you in your next lesson.